Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I'm Aja A. As you see a tarot cloth in front of me, you know it's time for me to kick some game to y'all for the month of March. These are your general readings for the month of March. Before I get started, if you feel like what I'm saying is not resonating with you, check out your moon and or rising sign, which I will have linked down below in the description box. While you were down there in that description box, go on and check out all them other links that I have and watch them videos. Got a lot of stuff popping up for March. Although it was February, we did end February with the Virgo full moon, which we move into March with that energy. We'll have the Pisces new moon at some point during this month. I don't know what day because I'm not looking at the calendar. What else? I got March love tarot readings for you guys as well. And whatever else is down there, go on and check it out. I truly appreciate y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe while you at it. Hit that little bell to keep up with when I put out new content, okay? This is going to be your typical 4-card spread for the month of March, looking at the overall energy for you this month, any challenges or obstacles that you might be facing. And because we are dealing with Pisces energy for most of March, going to be looking at where you need to just flow, what you need to let happen during this month. And as always, a quick little soul message. I will be reading with the Wild Unknown Archetypes Oracle deck, True Heart Intuitive Tarot deck, and the Sigil Oracle deck. For those of y'all that really like the cards and are interested in them decks, you can find them online wherever. I ain't got the links down there because I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so they don't pay me to plug these decks. So those are the names if you want them, okay? Alrighty guys, let's get into your spread. This video is for Virgo, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Virgo Rising. Let's go on and get into your messages here, okay? The first card that you've got coming up in your spread is in the position of the overall energy, and you've got an interesting one. You've got the shapeshifter popping up here. And so right off bat, when I pulled your cards, and y'all know if you've been in my videos, if y'all been watching my channel, you know that I keep it very, very real. And so the first thing that I noticed when I pulled your cards is that there's a lot of what I consider dense or heavy energy popping up here, but I'm not surprised to see it because Virgo, we are in your opposite sign season and you just had a full moon. So you're actually in a time of needing to release or going through the motions of releasing these energies, these negative, dense, stagnant things that you've been carrying around, okay? You got the shapeshifter here, and what I pick up with this card is that you're going through some sort of transformation, Virgo. You're going through some sort of something that may have you in a space to where you don't necessarily understand everything that's happening. You're not sure if you can see clearly everything that's happening, but you can feel that things are shifting, things are changing, the energy is moving and moving away from something that you were once very much so grounded in is what I really get. Very quickly, the shapeshifter card, the numerology on this card is 15. And so what we're looking at is 1 and 5. And so 1 is all about new beginnings, manifestation, independence and new chapters. And then you've got 5, which is all about change and transformation and adaptability and shifting your energy into new spaces, into new places. You guys, we are in a 5 universal year, so we are rocking with 5 energy all throughout the year. However, this card popping up in your spread does tell me the things that are changing and transpiring for you, Virgo, are putting you in a place to where you can build solid foundations and plant seeds for solid foundations and solid pillars. 15 breaks down into 6. 6 is the number of, the way that I deal with numerology, 6 is the number of building upon foundations that you have put in place. So with the shapeshifter card here, there is this energy, there's this notion of, Virgo, things are changing, the tides are changing, and they're changing because they need to change for you, and that's what you need to build upon. Also with this shapeshifter card, I will say that a lot of these changes may be happening on a subconscious or a spiritual or a higher level, and you may not even necessarily notice However, I do get the sense that, Virgo, you notice you just might be a little confused, or you might feel a little lost and tossed in the sauce dealing with your opposite signs energy. Keep it very, very real with you guys. When the shapeshifter card pops up in a spread, especially with all of the other cards that you have connecting to it here, it does tell me that, Virgo, you might be very Virgo. You might be very much so earth and be trying to go against the grain of change. I will, for one, come in here with this shapeshifter card and tell you, listen, the changes that are coming in, you need to go on and roll with them, because if you go against them, that's when shit's gonna hit the fan. You have energy that needs shifting. You have spaces that you need to remove yourself from, places that you need to remove yourself from, cords of attachment that you need to release or cleanse, depending on the situation, and new places and spaces and energies to prepare to come into, or to send yourself into, okay? The shapeshifter card does tell me that the month of March for you, Virgo, it may feel like you're kind of floating on a cloud or floating through some sort of purgatory, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. We are still in a retrograde shadow. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are feeling that energy. But know that we're going to be coming out of the retrograde shadow towards the middle of the month, right before we go into the springtime, right before we wrap up your sister sign season, and right before we, no, not your sister sign, your opposite sign season, and right before we have your opposite signs lunar cycle, okay? So understand that things are shifting for you on a spiritual level. You just had your full moon. You're releasing a whole bunch of things that no longer serve you, and as you release and as you get rid of things, your energy changes. And so your energy changing, you just may not have been completely prepared for it. You know, Virgo, you're ruled by Mercury. You guys like to plan and analyze and stick to routines and stuff. And so, Virgo, you may have had plans set up in place for certain things, and the way that things are playing out, they don't look nothing like your plans, or the plan or the course of action don't look nothing like what you thought it was going to look like. But understand that your energy is shifting, and it's going to put you into the spaces and places that you need to be in. The next card I have in your spread, Virgo, is in the position of the crossing energies, challenges, or obstacles that you might be facing during this month. And you do have one of my oh shit cards popping up here. You actually have two of them in this spread. Okay, so y'all need to get y'all's little full moon together and get y'all's energy right. Okay, but I'm going into this card. You got the Ten of Wands here. So the Ten of Wands, right off bat, anytime I read it, and especially in regards to these cards, this is the you're doing way too much card. This is, you got too much shit going on. You doing too much. You trying to put your little hands and ground your little feet into way too many things. And Virgo, that is not a foreign concept for you. You guys are known to do that. You guys are known to work on several different projects. You're ruled by Mercury, so you have a very intellectual energy. You're known to be in a whole bunch of different things at the same time. However, this Ten of Wands card popping up in your crossing position does tell me that right now, that is not what you're supposed to be doing. Understand that your energy is shifting. And I really do pick up on, Virgo, you really trying to hold on to some things that you don't need to hold on to. You may also be trying to make certain things work that are just not going to work out. Virgo, now would be the time during the month of March, especially while we still deal with the retro shade, quote unquote. That is a new term that I learned this year, and I'm like, is that from y'all little spiritual fad people? Because retro shade is not something that I have ever said. Like, I say shadow, but anyways, tangent. While we're dealing with the shadow of this retrograde, there is this notion for you guys to actually really tap into your Virgo, into that Mercury energy, and reanalyze the things that you've got going on. You have the Ten of Wands here. 10 wands is too many. There's too many wands. And you know, wands is the fire suit. So you're doing way too much. You're putting your energy into too many things. And when you put your energy into 10 different wands that it don't need to be into, guess what you do, Virgo? You spread yourself thin. This card also, the Ten of Wands is also a card that kind of points, not kind of, Ten of Wands also carries, when it's crossed, when it's reversed, it carries this energy of going through what people call the dark night of the soul. So for some of you Virgos, you may have been having a very difficult time in whatever aspect of your life it may have touched, but I do get the sense that some of you Virgos, especially with us coming up on or coming off of your full moon, you're in a position to where you are seeing all of the things that were weighing you down, holding you back, all of the things that were weighing heavy on your heart, putting you into these messed up and putting you into these why am I yawning? I don't ever yawn in readings, and this is starting to get on my nerves. think it's because people keep waking me up before my alarm is supposed to go off. And so then I'll just get up. Sorry, Virgos. And then also with me yawning in your spread, that also gives me a little message to say, Virgo, you need to take a little baby break. Like you need to cool it. You need to cool it now. You got to cool it now. Ooh, watch out. You got chill out. Doing too much. 10 wands is way too many, and when you exude your energy into all these different projects and all these different people and all these different things, you are doing way too much, and then 2, you spread yourself thin. And by spreading yourself thin, you can also put yourself right back into that dark night of the soul. But going back to what I was saying about that, some of you Virgos may really be coming out of a space or be feeling like you're in this space during this time. Yes, because when you're dealing with your own full moon and you're in your opposite sign's energy, it's a little dense, it's a little heavy, and it's because that is typically how the energy is set up for you to release the things that you no longer need. So some of you guys may be feeling really down and in the dumps and really feeling like very restricted and very feeling like everything is an obstacle and everything is a challenge during the month of March. However, what I will tell you, and I don't like to talk about turn the all shit cards into upright positions. What I will tell you is that you need to reevaluate what wands you're putting your energy into. And then you also need to think about, for the time being, do I really need 10 of these bitches? Like, no, I don't need 10 wands. Excuse me. Sometimes I be talking to y'all like I talk to my friends. My bad. Sometimes you don't need all 10 of these wands. Sometimes the work that you're doing, you only need about 2 or 3, and you can do away with them other 7 or 8 because they're not needed. They're taking up your time. They're taking up your energy. They're taking up your space. So understand that during the month of March, for you, it is very important for you to allow the changes that are supposed to be coming in to come in, and allow the ones that you don't need to fall by the wayside. Okay, don't do too much during this month, because right now things are working for you on a subconscious, on a spiritual level, and by you trying to put your energy and your physical energy and your mental energy into all of these 10 wands here, you might mess up what changes are supposed to be coming in for you. Next card I've got for you, Virgo, is in the position of where you need to tap into your opposite signs energy, Pisces, and just let life flow. Let things flow. Let life's currents lead you somewhere, okay? You've got the 5 of Discs, which typically the 5 of Discs, when I read it, is the 5 of Pentacles. This is one of my shit cards. However, in this True Heart Intuitive Tarot, so y'all can see, this is actually becoming one of my favorite decks. Not necessarily by way of the artwork, but I do like the artwork. But it is becoming one of my favorite decks. I like how the author wrote the descriptions of the cards and the energies that she lends to the cards. They're not as traditional as say regular tarot, like the Rider-Waite deck or things like that, but it is based off of that deck. Anyways, tangent. This is typically an all shit card for me. However, with this deck, the 5 of Discs actually gives you a little bit of hope, okay? This card popping up here in the position of where you need to let life flow. Virgo, we're still in a pandemic. We still in a whole panoramic. We in a panty, and our government ain't really giving us no stimmies. And they talking about a $1,400 stimmy, but like also, we've been in a pandemic for a year, and they've given us a total of less than $5,000. It ain't even that close, but I'm just saying that because I don't feel like doing the math. They've given us not enough to help us sustain, okay? And so Virgo, you may be one of those people, like most of us, who has been impacted financially in a negative way. The 5 of Discs is popping up here, and it comes with a couple of messages. One of the main messages that the author of this deck talks about is this card bringing in the energy of coming into a space of financial abundance after a time of financial instability. So Virgo, and I'm talking about finances because Discs are the pentacles, okay? So Virgo, if you've been in a position to where your finances have been really messed up, especially if you've been trying to do too much to get them back on track, I will say that during March, especially after you release all of them full moon Virgo things, and after we move out of Pisces season, go into the spring season, move away from the retrograde shadow, I get the sense that Virgo, you will get some opportunities, or you will get some sort of help to bring things kind of back on track for you. I want to talk about the imagery on this card as well. If you look at the card, there's a little eyeball And the way I look at it, and this could be because I just watched Behind Her Eyes, but I look at this like a well. It's like somebody standing at the bottom of the well, and you're just like looking, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm stuck down here. I just don't know what to do. I'm just not sure. But what you don't realize is that you are at the bottom of the well. There are pinnacles literally waiting for you at the top of the well. You just got to figure out how to get out of the bottom. You need to figure out how to work through the dark night of the soul. And I'll be real, you know, some people will be like, oh, you shouldn't put all of your energy into monetary things. But unfortunately, we live in a world, in a time, and deal with societies that put a lot of emphasis on those things. And so when you don't got the funds and you don't got the bread and you ain't got the physical resources that you need to sustain, it puts you in a really fucked off headspace. And nobody is judging you for that over this way. Not after the year that we just had and the year that we're currently still in, or the year that we're in now, you know what I mean? So if that's where your energy is, understand that by the end of March, you're going to be getting some opportunities or some sort of help. It could be by way of the government. You might get that $1,400 stimmy dropped in a little bit quicker than other people, or you might really be able to do something with that. Somebody may come along and give you some assistance. You might get some sort of job offer. Just know that things are going to start looking a little bit better for you towards the end of March. With the 5 of discs also, I do want to point out a little bit of a message to the number 5. And I talked about 5 numerology earlier in the spread, but because we're talking about the Pentacles card and we're dealing with the number 5 here, I also want to say that, Virgo, instead of trying to do too much, instead of putting your energy in all these different things because you're trying to get your life together, coast for a second. And not to say, you know, just chill and don't do a damn thing, but don't do way too much. Coast for a second. Do what you can. Don't do what you think you need to do. Do what you can right now. Do not run yourself thin. And understand that by just doing what you can, you'll set yourself up. You'll realign your energy to open yourself up to the opportunities for the resources that you need to get everything together. The energy for this month for you is like a little rocky at the beginning, but you're going to have a point in which you switch, in which things shift for you, and then things start to flow in the way that they need to. Last card that I have for you guys in your spread, Virgo, is the Yoni card, and it is in the position of your soul message. And so whenever I pull Yoni cards and when I reference the Yoni, I'm thinking, you know, most people go to like sexual reproductive organs and like sex health and things like that. But when I think of the Yoni, I think of it more so in terms of self-love. The center, it's not the center of the self as far as, you know, like your chakras are concerned, but I think of really getting into your needs and your desires and the things that are going to make you feel better. The Yoni card is a very receptive card. It's not a receptive card, but that's a word that I apparently need to tell you guys. Virgo, you need to be open to receiving. You need to be open to letting life lead you into these changes, okay? You need to be open to the things that are shifting for you and not going against the grain and trying to do what you think needs to be done. Because Virgo, let me tell you something right now. Y'all are coming off of a full moon and we are still in a retrograde shadow. Whatever the hell you think needs to be done is completely off. I'm going to just keep it 100 with y'all. And if you mad, you could click out of this reading right now. Virgo, on the shadow side, when y'all get an idea, no matter how wrong or how left it is, you convince yourself that is actually accurate and that's what needs to be done. With all of the way that the energy is swirling around right now, Virgo, I will keep it real. Whatever thoughts you are coming up with, you are confused. And don't let that confusion keep you in this cross 10 of wands. Don't let that confusion keep you on the wrong side of the 5 of discs. You need to be open. You need to be receptive to the things that are coming in for you, okay? This Yoni card is also, it also corresponds with the Empress in Tarot, the Sigil Oracle. It's an oracle deck, but all of the cards go with the major arcana card in Tarot. And so the Yoni is the Empress. And so what I get with that, Virgo, is that for the month of March, because you've got so much going on by way of the 10 of Wands and you got to work through that, and then you have things shifting for you on a subconscious and a higher level, and you kind of moving away from the density of 5 energy, you need to give yourself some time and some space to heal and to nurture yourself and to love on yourself. Because, and I was just talking to one of my friends last night, he's going through some shit, and you know, I had to tell him, like, listen, this sounds very harsh, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about the shit that you're going through but you. And so who's gonna pull you up out of the trenches? Nobody but you. Who's gonna help you feel better? Nobody, baby. Nobody but you, okay? So, Virgo, get yourself into a space to where you can understand that the changes that you want to see will come by way of your hand and by way of however spirit is leading you. But you also have to understand that you cannot run yourself ragged trying to get yourself into a more abundant space and a more poppin' place. Understand that things will play out in divine timing as they should, and when they should. And while you waiting and while you working, make sure that you're giving yourself the love and the time and the devotion and the energy that you need to keep your zen together, to keep your health together, to keep your mental together, so that you are prepared when these shifts come in and when these new poppin' positive energies, when that other side of the Five of Discs come in, when you get the coins on the other side, okay? Prepare yourself for that by loving on yourself and not talking down on yourself and not putting yourself into these positions where you're literally running out of energy because you think this is what you're supposed to be doing. March is a little bit rocky for you, Virgo, but towards the end of the month, things are going to start looking a little bit better. Going to be feeling a lot lighter and a lot more positive. And those are your messages for the month of March. I hope that they found you well. If you feel like you want your own personal reading, you can feel free to book one with me. I have my Etsy shop linked down below. I offer several different types of tarot spreads. I'm pretty sure I have something that you're looking for. If you don't see a spread on my Etsy shop that works for you, shoot me an email and we can work it out, okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, like I said, I hope these messages find you well and help you maneuver through the month as you need to. I appreciate y'all and I will catch y'all next time. Happy spring. Peace.